Time to stream live to Twitch. Twitch.tv/smAsho. Are you frightened of the weather? Are you frightened of the subject of meteorology? Are you tired of people who say trust the science and don't know anything about the science? Well, that's why we started covering meteorology, because some of us know something about the science. Here's what's going on with the jet streams. They're blowing backwards over the areas like the Philippines and the Indian Ocean. And they're largely incoherent in the northern hemisphere, although we still do see some jet streams up there. Cheers. Let's check surface winds of the eastern portion of planet Earth. Strong winds here south of Australia around the south geomagnetic pole, turning planet Earth around to look at the western world. There are the surface winds over here. And if you're wondering where we are, we're like right over here. Right like there. Just to the west of Jersey. Just to the west of Jersey. Anyway, those are surface winds. Let's look at the jet streams of planet Earth here and look at how incoherent they are over the North Atlantic. Yowzers. Highly incoherent jet streams, folks. If you know a pilot, ask him if I'm blowing smoke. Those jet streams are all over the place. Continuing on, here's the NASA GOES lightning mapper. Continued lightning here over northern Texas and Oklahoma, southern Missouri and Illinois. Please leave us a comment if you're from Illinois. Leave us a comment if you've been to Detroit and Chicago. I've actually been to Chicago one time. Only at the airport. I was actually there twice. It was on the way to and from Germany, yes. Deutschland. Here's a real-time lightning map, courtesy lightningmaps.org. A bunch of Eastern European lightning happening. Shout out to my favorite Eastern European, Eugene Bagashov. Here is the windy.com pressure map scenario. Here's where stuff is now. Here's where stuff will be tomorrow at noon. That's pressure from windy.com. A lot of low pressure on planet Earth right now. A lot of low pressure. The entire South Pole region, the Western Pacific rather, and the North Pole region, and Northern Africa. All low pressure. Also, obviously, Eastern Europe, where all that lightning is happening, low pressure. Here's a weather.gov map, and I would remind everybody of the horrific 111 plus degree. I think I saw a forecast for 115. Check out our Instagram page, by the way. We put lots of meteorology stuff on there, instagram.com/smAsho. If you don't follow us there, you should, because there's a ton of exclusive content that goes into the writing of the show and all kinds of other stuff that you won't get other places. Massive flooding forecasted here for portions. And there are some forecasts for some like 15 inches of rain in these areas. I won't show the Tropical Tidbits forecast for rain today, or will I? First, electrolyte beverages. So I use homemade electrolyte beverages, folks. And if you're not aware, the Tour de France riders drink mostly electrolyte beverages. So I know what goes into the cooler of a Tour de France car, right? A few years ago, Team BMC let us know some insight into what was in their coolers, right? They had like 3 coolers of electrolyte beverage, 1 cooler of plain water, and 1 cooler of small Coca-Colas. Yes. That was what they were carrying. So they drink almost entirely electrolyte beverage. They probably spray as much water on themselves as they do drink it. Make sure you have electrolytes in your beverage. Drinking plain water doesn't do it. Here are some recipes. I just looked this up. I just did a search for this. 3 homemade electrolyte drinks for better fueling. What I regularly use when I ride is simply kosher salt and lime juice added to my water. It makes a huge difference than drinking plain water. And you can, of course, if you add honey to it, for example, that's a great low glycemic index sugar, and it also has B vitamins in it. So, some recipes here that I'll let scroll. Coconut citrus electrolyte beverage is a good choice. Watermelon, always tasty when it's very hot. Shout out to our viewers in the Northwest. Please don't evaporate during the horrific heat wave that is on your way. And by the way, you can put recipes on smashamash.com/forum. There's a free-for-all. Anyway, there's that precipitation forecast that I lied and said I wasn't going to cover. I apologize. There is the precipitation forecast. It looks like maybe up to as much as 10 inches of rain there. 10 inches of rain in central Oklahoma they're forecasted. That's through 1800 Universal Time on Wednesday. And I just wanted to show you real quick how I get the temperature anomaly maps. When you click on Tropical Tidbits, you click on Forecast Models. It'll bring up this U.S. It'll show you the U.S. current precipitation situation. And then you come down here. You click on Thermodynamics, 2-meter temperature anomaly. And the worst of it is forecasted to be on Monday, I believe, but also some horrific temperatures today. There you go. At 1800 Universal Time on Monday, the forecast is for something like 25 degrees Celsius above normal. 25 degrees Celsius above normal in these brown areas. It went from red to pink to brown. So, again, don't evaporate. Here is the whole northern hemisphere. We'll bring that back to that same time there. What the heck? All right, here we go. There you go. There's 0 dark 100. 0 hour Zulu for the entire northern hemisphere. And I would note that the Arctic isn't hot. It just isn't hot. It's summertime in the Arctic. These areas see light all day long, and it isn't hot. Look, part of Greenland is anomalously cold, and part is anomalously hot. Sorry if that breaks your narrative. Notice how anomalously cold it is all the way down into southern Mexico, by the way. Continuing on to the U.S. Doppler radar map. Yowzers, and this video is getting lengthy. Lots of stuff to cover here, and lots of heavy rainfall and training. This is what we call training, folks. When the storm keeps going over the same areas that the storm went over, that's how you get 20 inches of rain in a place. Shout out to our viewers from those areas. We hope you're resilient and that you're not in a raging torrent of water right now. Anyway, there's the cloud layer. Here's the water vapor map. And that should help give you insight. Once again, we've got this dry mass of air here, which is creating a barrier. It's causing this moisture to make a turn to the northeast. And you can actually see it happening right there. And we hope that helps you forecast the weather. As with the sort of instruments that we have nowadays, folks, there's no way you shouldn't be able to forecast the weather. You should be able to forecast the weather very, very precisely. And the only reason, most likely, your TV anchor meteorologist or radio meteorologist ever is wrong is because they have to talk to a viewing area or a listening area. They're not just forecasting for what's going to happen on your side of that mountain ridge, right? So anyway, you should be able to forecast weather. We'll do more meteorology videos about the specifics of how to forecast weather in the future. Thanks for tuning in to today's meteorology segment. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho, signing off from Smash News Network. Least busted. Name in news.